Good afternoon, everybody. Today we will start with the chemical bonding. Before going to start chemical bonding, what is we will see the learning outcome of this chemical bonding. After attending the session, you will be able to explain the properties of the given compound based on the bond formation, and second, you are able to draw the molecular structure of the given compounds. Now, what is the importance of this chemical bonding? All the exist things are formed by some kinds of a chemical bonding. We are observing that we are wearing the clothes, we are taking a food, that is the carbohydrates, proteins and other things. All these are made up of some kind of a chemical bondings, as well as these cloths, that is the cellulose material, are also formed by the some kinds of a bonding. That is the bonding is very essential. Means what? All the elements. Now this, what is this? Periodic charts of an elements. Now in this periodic charts there are 118 elements. Out of these 118 elements, 94 are the natural elements, whereas other are the man-made material. When we look at the first group, second group, that's contain hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, whereas when you are coming at the 18 groups, means that is a helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are the stable compounds, whereas the elements which are present initially, means first group element, second group element, third, fourth, along with to the 18 elements, these are the unstable elements, and all these elements are going to stabilize by forming the chemical bonds. Means this instability is recovered by forming the chemical bonds, except these noble gases. Means noble gas जे आहेत वो noble gas छोड़ के बाकी सब elements हैं, all are the unstable elements. Now this is the G.N. Lewis who discovered the theory of electronic theory of valency. Means valency is what? That is the number of electrons present in the outermost electronic configurations. Outermost electronic configurations are known as the valency of that elements. That valency means what? Number of electron presents in the outermost orbital. That is known as, for example, when we are considering, that is in the periodic table, we seen that is first group elements contain the first, means there are one electron in the outermost orbital. Now according to this G.N. Lewis, who discovered this theory in 1916, the valency of an element is the number of electron present in its outermost shell. These electrons are stabilized by gaining, losing or sharing of this electron. Atoms of an element containing 8 electrons in the outermost shell or orbit are the stable. They are also known as a noble gas element, whereas atom with less than 8 electron in the valence shell are chemical active and take parts in the chemical reaction. This is the prerequisite to study the chemical bonding. Now every element has a tendency to have a stable electronic configuration, which is done by forming chemical bond. This Lewis symbol means, according to this Lewis, the electrons are denoted by the dot. Electrons are represented as the dot. Only valence electron are used, means to represent the electronic configurations, the dots is represented at the outermost orbital. For example, when we are considering the hydrogen atom, this hydrogen dot indicates that there is a 1 electrons in the outermost orbital of a hydrogen. Lithium dot means there is a 1 electron in the outermost orbital of a hydrogen. Similarly, these are the elements having a different kinds of electronic configurations. Are you getting it? These are the electronic configurations shown by the different kinds of orbitals. That is a octet rule. That is according to the Lewis. This octet rule means what? The every elements which do not contain 8 electrons in their outermost shell either gains, lose or share an electron to complete its octet. For example, when we are considering the hydrogen atom, which contain 1 electron in their outermost orbital, whereas in case of a carbon, that is electronic configuration is decided by the atomic number. In this case, atomic number is a 6, whereas outer electron presence in the carbon atom is a 4. Means to complete its octet, it require more 4 electron. Why? Because inner electronic configuration and outer electronic configuration. Inner electronic configuration means what? That is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p6. The electrons are stabilized by completing the octet in the outermost electronic configuration, whereas the inner electronic shells are the stable shells. They are not participate in any kind of a bond formations. That is chemical bonds. The attractive force which hold various constituent atoms ion together in a different chemical species is called a chemical bonds. That is the attractive force which hold the constituent atoms are known as a chemical bonds. These chemical bonds are formed either by transfer or share of an electron. This way all of the atoms are fulfill their shells and complete the octet and stabilize themselves. Almost all elements form a chemical bond easily. That's why most matter is found in that form of a compound. For example, when we are inhaling the oxygen, this oxygen is not in the elemental form but is a molecular form. That is, oxygen and oxygen is in the molecular form, that is formed by the different kinds of a bonding. We will see this bonding, these types of a bond. Now types of a bonds, there are mainly two types of bond. One is the ionic bond and second is the covalent bond. Means to stabilize the bond formation are of two types, that is ionic bond and covalent bond. These chemical bonds are classified. First is the covalent bond, second is the ionic bond. These covalent bonds are formed by the mutual sharing of electrons in their outermost orbital. Means what? These electrons are shared by the two different elements. For example, covalent bonds are formed by the sharing of electron, whereas ionic bonds, name itself says that there is a formation of an ion. Means ions are formed during the formation of an ionic bond. For example, NaCl is an example of an ionic bond. During formation of this sodium chloride, we will see in the next slide. Before this, covalent bond are further classified as a non-polar covalent bond and polar covalent bond. Non-polar covalent bonds, that is a example is of oxygen and hydrogen, whereas a polar bond is of a water. Covalent bond, that is covalent bond is formed when atom shares electron, means sharing of an electron. When the two different atoms or the same atom share the electrons, that is known as the covalent bond. The bond between oxygen and hydrogen in the water molecules are the covalent bond. Means the bonding present in the water molecule is of the covalent types, where are the bonding form in the oxygen molecule, it is also a covalent bond. Means the two oxygen molecule share the electrons pair. In a covalent bond, electrons are shared between the atoms and not transferred. The electrons are not transferred. The electronic configuration of oxygen and hydrogen, that is oxygen contain 8 electron in their that is 1s2, that is the first orbital which is not going to be participate in the bond formation, whereas second 2s2 and 2p4, these are the orbital which are participating in the bond formation. Whereas in case of a hydrogen, there is only one electron. This one electron is participate in the formation of a bonding, that is by covalent bonding. This H is in the formation of a hydrogen molecule. This hydrogen molecule shares electrons with the another hydrogen molecule and form a hydrogen molecule, that is a H2. Whereas similarly this water molecule, in case of a water molecule, this oxygen molecule has a 6 electron in their outermost orbital, and to complete its octet, how much electrons are required? 2 electrons. Means to complete its octet means 8 electron, it requires 2 more electrons. These are shared by the 2 hydrogen atoms. Means there are 2 covalent bonds in the water molecule, that is a one OH bond and another OH bond, that is the 2 water covalent bonding present in the water molecule. Now this bonding, that is covalent bonding, there is a single bonding, double bond and triple bond. When the one pair of an electron is shared, the bond formed is a single bond. Whereas in case of oxygen, the two oxygen molecules share the electron pair, that is two electron pair, that is known as the bond form is a double bond. Whereas in case of nitrogen, the electron pair share is a triple bond. Means these are the So, in this session we have learned about the electrovalence theory of Lewis, that is electronic theory of Lewis. In this, that octet rule, means we explain the octet rule. According to this octet rule, each elements are stabilized by acquiring 8 electron in their molecule. Means in the formation of a water molecule, we have seen that there is a 2 bonds, that is 2 are the covalent bonds present in the water molecule, which are formed by the sharing of electrons. There is some more information present in this site, that is www.chemtube3d.com and www.chem1.com. Due to the lack of time, we are not able to explain all this thing at a time. So you can check these sites also. Thank you.